Israeli Air Force continuing to unleash a mighty armada in the sky. Overnight, the IDF launching a wave of strikes in Tehran. So far, Israeli officials confirming that strikes have killed more than 40 Iranian commanders since the operation began. That includes top Revolutionary Guard leadership and Iran's defense minister.
And in the Gulf, several U.S. warplanes crashed in Kuwait. Thankfully, all crew members have survived. The White House also releasing this photo of President Trump with his team gathered at Mar-a-Lago using a secure location there to keep a close eye on the strikes on Iran as they unfolded. And moments ago, Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Dan Kane giving the big picture on the high stakes of the operation for the United States, adding that more U.S. forces will be deployed in the conflict.
Our mission is to protect and defend ourselves and, together with our regional partners, prevent Iran from the ability to project power outside of its borders and be ready for follow-on actions as appropriate. Across every domain, land, air, sea, cyber, the U.S. Joint Force delivered synchronized and layered effects designed to disrupt, degrade, deny, and destroy Iran's ability to conduct and sustain combat operations. This deployment included thousands of service members from all branches, hundreds of advanced fourth and fifth generation fighters, dozens of refueling tankers, the Lincoln and Ford Carrier Strike Group and their embarked air wings, sustained flow of munitions, fuel, supplies, all supported with command and control, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance network. And the flow of forces continues today. In fact, Admiral Cooper will receive additional forces even today. This was a massive, overwhelming attack across all domains of warfare, striking more than 1,000 targets in the first 24 hours. We are now roughly 57 hours into the operation. Operation Epic Fury stands as a reminder of what the United States military uniquely delivers: the ability to project power on a global scale with speed, surprise, precision, and overwhelming force when and where our nation requires it.
So now we have Team Fox coverage. Lucas Tomlinson joins us live in Istanbul, Turkey. Alexandria Hoff is standing by for the latest headlines from the White House. Trey Yinks is live on the ground in Tel Aviv, and that is where we begin a new day and a new hour. Trey, hello.
Yeah, Bill, Dana, good morning. The Israeli military tells Fox News right now they are striking the Iranian capital of Tehran. This comes as the Iranians are responding with more ballistic missiles against this country, wounding 10 people in the southern city of Beersheba this morning. And overnight, this conflict expanding. The Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, Iran's largest proxy, getting directly involved in the fight, launching rockets over the border into northern Israel, targeting the city of Haifa. Israel already responding, as you can see in this video here, the aftermath in the Dahya neighborhood of Beirut. They are striking a variety of targets, and they say the leader of Hezbollah, Naim Qassem, is a legitimate target. One resident in Beirut describes what he saw and heard.
At first, there were 3 explosions. They were a bit far. We went up to the roof and saw that the explosions were behind us. We could only see the smoke. After about 10 minutes, there was another strike right behind us. We all fled, and after another 10 minutes was the last strike. It was 3 consecutive strikes. We came here, and thank God we are okay now.
New video from the Israeli military shows how they are going after Iran's ballistic missile launching positions. Despite these efforts, the Iranians are still getting off a number of barrages both day and night. We have seen here from Tel Aviv these missiles soaring through the skies, being intercepted by Israel's advanced missile defense systems. We do expect advanced coordination to continue to try and control this threat, but we know the Iranians are still firing on Israel and regional Gulf countries. Bill, Dana.
Trey, thank you. Back to you for more headlines from the Middle East as they become available. I want to take our viewers through a number of things now that have developed over the weekend and what we think we are learning at the moment, given the Pentagon briefing and what we expect later today. To my right are satellite images from northwestern Iran. These are ballistic missile sites. You see the road wrap around this way? Look here and here in the before image. And then afterwards, you can see the missiles that struck and took out those launch sites here. Again, over here, northwestern part of the country, near the town of Tabriz. These are the before images here. I look at these structures on the ground, and I see what's left over on the after, and all those structures are gone. What about leadership? What happens in Iran? Who takes control? who was elected, who takes power. This is what we understand right now. We've been told through the White House that 48 leading leaders in Iran have been eliminated. On our image behind us, we have 9 of those, but they are significant. Head of the Military Bureau, head of intelligence, chief of staff of the armed forces, the IRGC commander, the head of Security Council, the Iranian Council there, defense minister in Iran, and of course the Ayatollah, the supreme leader of Iran. Only 2 leaders have ever existed in the history of the Islamic Republic of Iran. This was the second after 37 years. He has now been eliminated. Over here, the reported U.S. and Israeli strikes in Iran. In green, you can see the reported airstrikes thus far. In white, the reports of explosions that we have seen actual footage, video footage of. Then in yellow are the confirmed airstrikes as well. Look at the green here. Strait of Hormuz is going to get a lot of attention down here. This town of Bandar Abbas, okay? The Strait of Hormuz at its most narrow point is 21 miles long. About 1/5 of the U.S. oil supply, the global oil supply goes through the Strait of Hormuz every day. We're going to watch that throughout the day and see how that impacts markets. What I was talking about over there in the satellite images, these are up in the northwest corner of the town of Tabriz. On Saturday, if you were watching our coverage here, if you were to fly from Tehran to Israel, it's about 1,200 miles, and the Iranians clearly have the capacity, the missile capacity, to reach Israel. They also easily have the capacity to reach some of the Gulf nations down here, which I'll show you momentarily. But these ballistic missile sites that are located in the western part of the country are such a deadly force against the Gulf nations and against Israel. That cuts down 400 miles. So the reach here from western Iran into Israel is only 800 miles. It's an easy reach for the Iranians. Over here quickly on the retaliations with the Iranians and what they have done in the regional strikes. We will note throughout our program how many civilian targets have been hit. Airports, hotels, these Gulf nations. But this is where the U.S. military is essentially established. Big Army base in Kuwait, big Navy base here in Bahrain, a big air base here, Al Udeid there in Qatar that's been built, Abu Dhabi as well. These are all locations that are easily right across the Persian Gulf into Iran for the military. Let me clear that off here and move to, and this is where the naval assets are set up. Quickly, I would just draw your attention, the USS Abraham Lincoln there in the Arabian Sea and the USS Gerald Ford just off the coast of Israel. These are the aircraft carriers. Nuclear-powered Ford, been at sea for more than 10 months, has capacity to do many, many things with his fleet of carriers and ships throughout the area. The reason we're showing you this map, and I'll wrap it up here, all right? A lot of times we get lost about these Gulf nations. Remember Kuwait, right? They've been hit. Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, all of them pretty much held their fire, quite literally, until they were hit with some civilian sites. And then we saw over the weekend, Dana, that these Gulf nations have taken action and word at a minimum toward the Iranian regime today. So
and so we bring in Joey Jones. He's co-host of the Big Weekend Show, which I watched last night. He's a retired Marine bomb tech, a great guy, and we are glad to have him here. Let's just listen to President Trump. This is call for number 1, talking about the sacrifice of American troops.
As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen.